Welcome back. We're here with your hosts, Matt, Casey, Joseph, and Mike, and this week we're talking about the conspiracy surrounding the Titanic. Let's get into it. Starting this shit, let's hear some stuff on what actually happened to the Titanic, or at least what they say happened. Who's got that?
What they say happened is Joseph's fat ass got on that boat and it just split in two.
Yeah, I mean, it did split in two, I guess.
Hey, you know what? I wasn't on the front of it, okay? So, wait.
Oh, excuse me, ship.
I'm gonna
So wait, you were like, what, in the middle and you just fell through the gravity's pull?
No, I was on one side. I was on the side that didn't sink.
He stepped on that expansion joint and he fell right through and just split that motherfucker in half.
You're very disrespectful, and I'm quitting this podcast ASAP.
Okay, so what they call the official story of the Titanic is, I'm sure everybody knows it. They made fucking movies about it. Well, a movie. I don't know. They could have made more, but they made documentaries. James Cameron went and saw it. You know, it's out there.
Expeditions.
But for people that possibly don't know it, which I fucking doubt, the Titanic was a British passenger liner, and it was the biggest ship ever built for that time. It set sail from the UK around April 10th, 1912, heading for New York. But as you guys know, it didn't make it. Just 4 days after setting sail, the Titanic hit an iceberg. After hitting the iceberg, the Titanic started to take on water until it eventually split in two and sank in roughly 3 hours. Even though it took 3 hours to sink, 1,500 people still died because Titanic did not carry enough lifeboats.
And Leo couldn't fit on that door.
Yeah.
100%.
So this is actually considered one of the worst disasters in maritime history.
Hey, Leonardo DiCaprio
I don't know.
Could not fit on that door definitely nowadays. But I mean, back then he probably could.
Yeah, he's definitely in his late Jack Nicholson phase.
He got that Django weight on him.
Yeah. No,
but
I would say the second worst.
The Titanic hit you said it was 4 days into the crossing, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So I think right here. So it says 357 miles south of
Newfoundland, yeah, in Canada.
That's how you say it, Newfoundland.
Made up.
And hit an iceberg at 11:40 p.m. ship time. So
yeah, that night,
midnight.
Yeah, and then they set off flares and all that shit. A bunch of stuff happened. I actually think I think I read that like I think I read that like somewhere that because they hit the reverse when they saw the fucking iceberg, it actually slowed them down to where they could barely turn, and that's what made them hit it. If they would have just powered through, they would have broke through it or actually turned.
They said that night it was like
side. It just caused cosmetic damage if had he not reversed the engines.
They said that night that
from what I heard, reversing the engines actually made it to where they couldn't turn.
Yeah, that's what the problem was. He reversed the engines, and but I guess that's actually what he did was what he was supposed to do. Like any other captain would have done that move as well. And it wasn't the captain that did that. Actually, it was actually
not Jack Sparrow.
It was his first mate that did it. It was William Murdoch. He's the one. He was on watch while the captain was sleeping.
His name's Matt Murdock, and he's fucking Daredevil. Okay. Anyways,
of course he is blind.
So
especially
that night. He out there fucking listening for the goddamn iceberg. No.
So from what I like read about whatever is that like it was hard to see that night anyways, and the fact that icebergs or whatever when they flip over, the bottom side's darker than whatever. So
well,
that it's harder to see.
The problem with that night is the sea was calm. So when the sea's calm, the waves aren't crashing on the edge of the iceberg, so you don't see the ripples off of them. So when the sea's calm, it's going to make it harder. That's why they only that's why it was like, last minute it's the iceberg because the sea.
Yeah, but it still sticks out of the water. All icebergs are bigger underneath.
The fact is they said that the iceberg shift. They said the iceberg shifted over and that the bottom side of it is dark. It's harder to see, like the bottom of an iceberg.
I thought it was like a game, you know, like when some people like hit squirrels. It's like a 10-point thing if you see an iceberg.
Well,
I fucking got this.
I don't know, dude. We gotta ask Miss. She used to tip to the side all the time. Matthew, ninth grade.
She was a big English teacher.
It's crazy though that the captain he discontinued the speed, probably under pressure of the owner of White Star Line. I forgot his name.
Well, I know the owner of the maritime company that owns White Star Line. That's J.P. Morgan, but I don't know about them.
Oh yeah, the
No,
fucking
the guy who,
something that sounds like a new coronavirus fucking vaccine.
It
That's
sounds
what-
like a fucking rum to me.
It sounds like somebody trying to compete with
Captain JP Morgan.
somebody trying to compete with
Or a
Johnson and
fucking
Johnson.
rapper. sorry,
but-
Joseph. I get to interrupt you for a change.
No, I don't know. Like it's so like, it's like one of those things where it's like kind of balanced out to me. Everything seems fucking balanced out. It's like I can see the insurance fraud, but the fact that it would be the biggest insurance fraud of history, like all that stuff, and then the fact, like, I mean, 100% they crashed in that iceberg. That was the reason they fucking crashed.
Well,
Like, if it was
also
a conspiracy-
some conspiracy said they like crashed into a boat and shit like that. But
What the one thing that I don't know? Oh man, what was it called? The Californian. That
Yeah.
The fact that it conveniently was like carrying fucking life jackets and fucking like
Yeah.
everything, like it was supposed to be a rescue ship.
yeah,
that
so we're
come
getting
and
into
fucking.
we're
yeah.
getting into conspiracy territory, which
Where
it
you-
makes me want to ask. Before we did research on this, who had heard of these conspiracies and what did you think of them?
Never heard about it like before until it was brought up, and then when I started looking into it, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I had to like look through a bunch of stuff on both sides because I was like, "It sounds like some realistic
It's like,
shit," but on the
you
same
start
time,
looking into it and you go, "Oh shit, this might have happened."
yeah,
You look into it and you're like, God damn, dude, Celine Dion, you bitch.
It's like, a lot of conspiracies get me, but when it comes down to fucking rich people and the government fucking people over, you got
Yeah.
me there. I
That's what-
fucking
yeah,
know that
that's
shit
what-
happened.
honestly, that's what roped me in was all the government shit. Rich people,
Yeah.
because rich people do grimy shit all the time.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what wrote me into it. But then there was just
Do you
some
think
shit
it's-
that
it-
didn't add
Yeah,
up. Like,
go ahead.
Like
Sorry.
some of the shit just didn't add up to me. It was-
Yeah. Do you think that's just us living in the time we live in now, thinking that like we don't trust any fucking person
Yeah.
Well,
above us in any type of?
Honestly, I don't
Well,
give
when I
the
was gonna-
government enough credit to be sneaky. I think the 1% is way more fucking sneakier than the government itself is. Which I guess they are the 1%.
I don't think that.
But I mean, they are the 1%, so never mind. I'm over here fucking
Yeah.
thinking, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. People aren't as
When-
smart, but I think you don't have to be smart when you have money. You just have to pay people to look the other way. That's really what it is. The 1%, they don't have to be like fucking geniuses. They just have to have people look the other way.
You just have to have a big enough boat to sink out your competition.
No,
Man, you got this,
the only
right?
conspiracy that I ever heard surrounding the Titanic was just the rudders were too small on the boat, or the propellers, or whatever they're
Well,
called.
that's what
I don't
and
actually know what that one is. Like I haven't heard.
that
of it.
the propellers
they're-
were too small to turn the ship. They were too small for the size of the ship.
which that would actually go into the theory, whatever, because when people are saying that was the
But
the
that's
Olympic
basically
that
backfire,
was
yeah.
sunk, that the Olympic, why does the Olympic have the Titanic whatever thing? Because they're not interchangeable. I mean, that could make sense in the sense that somebody did try to change them, and then the propeller didn't fucking like work right.
Okay,
Because
Matt.
it's like they're not universal propellers. They're built specifically for specific ships. And the fact is, Titanic and Olympic were identical in like the obvious sense, but not in,
except
like,
for the paint
fucking-
job, yeah.
But what I was
Yeah, and the fact that both of their what do you call it? One was like one was straight. Fuck, dude, I cannot think. And then one was like rounded.
wounded.
Yeah.
It was rounded.
Fucking rounded.
Wounded.
Bowed like a Viking ship.
Bowed. Yeah, it was like
was
bowed,
bowed
and
like
then
a
one was
rounded-
straight, and it didn't
Yeah.
add up. And then the fact that the number things that were carved into the fucking things,
Yeah, I mean,
like, didn't
it's,
make any sense.
yeah, it's crazy because I mean, where the big, possibly one of the biggest insurance frauds in history was where it lied was the fact that so there was two ships, twin sister ships. You have the Titanic, the Olympic or whatever it's called. And people invest tons of money into this, and it's supposed to be super unsinkable. All this great fucking cool party, shit going on, and so it's like, yeah, dude, if I was an investor, I'd
Yeah,
definitely
dude,
put my
Leonardo
money into that.
DiCaprio.
But
Leonardo
the only
DiCaprio was
problem-
painting bitches in there. Like, it's
I mean,
all
probably The Olympic was the first ship to. It was set sail before the Titanic did, and it was really hard to steer, possibly because, like you said, the little
Small rudders.
rudders were way too small probably for the size of it.
Well, the
And,
Olympic, the
it
designer,
often-
of it, he said he took a ride on the ship.
Oh, were you
and
talking
he
about
was
the? Are you talking about the
was
first?
doing, like flexion on the sides of the?
Yeah, well,
of
it was
Were you
known
talking
to
about
actually.
the first time it crashed into the naval ship thing or whatever?
No, so yeah,
I
well,
thought you were talking
so,
about when the Titanic crashed. I'm over here fucking jumping.
No, yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, it was known to stray away from course. It was like really hard to kind of
it
turn
listed.
and shit. It listed, and so it got too close to a naval ship, the HMS Hawk, which had an underwater battering ram that battered the shit out of it, and pretty much with that, what do you do? Because if you're just taking it for a test run, no one's paying that test run. You don't have a million
Yeah.
people, occupants on
Well-
board paying all this money. There's no business in there. It's just a test run. And so what are you going to do? You can't sue the Navy and be like, hey, I'm sorry, we got too close to your warship and now we're fucked up. Now we're out of billions of dollars,
Yeah.
You can't do that. And you don't want to tell all your shareholders, which are going to pull out all their money. You guys are just going to go negative. You're going to, the
Yeah.
Titanic will never set sail if everyone pulls out all their money out of this thing. And
Well,
so
that's
what they did is, so at that point, everyone knows the Olympic is just dead weight. It's just dead weight.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's a submarine for all we
Well,
know.
and the fact
that it
the
doesn't
part
go
that-
too far. And
the
so
part-
they, I think they had to repair the patch. Probably not great. They probably wasn't repaired that well because you don't want all your investors to know about
Yeah.
it. So they kind of repaired the patch. They switched the titles.
Well,
The
no, wait,
Titanic
wait,
being
Matthew.
on the Olympic, right?
Matthew, wait, before you continue. After he
Yeah.
crashed that ship, he crashed the Olympic again. Shortly after that, he hit a sunken ship. He scraped the bottom of it and damaged the ship again, and then that's why that ship was in port when the Titanic was being finished built.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah,
so it was
then-
still the
but
test
Now
ship.
continue where you were, so that I just
Okay,
a little
yeah.
Yeah.
information.
So
Once
they
you
kept
finish
kind of-
that, I'd like to backpedal a little bit and get the what you knew about this before you did research.
Definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
I just
Go,
want to
go ahead and continue. Yeah, go ahead.
Patch after patch kind of thing.
Yeah.
You don't want your investors to know that, hey, you guys put all this money into a fuck up. We fuck shit up. Sorry, it's not worth any money. It's not going to make any money. No one's going to be
Yeah.
able to board the ship. We can't trash the ship. All this material that went into it and labor that went into it, it's absolutely worth nothing because there's nothing to come of it, kind of thing. What
Yeah.
we can
An
do
old ship,
is
man.
swap.
You can't-
Yeah, old ship. What we can do is swap titles with the Titanic, and the Titanic is still being built, possibly, right?
Yeah.
And we can say that it's actually the Titanic is ready to go. Some cheap welders, they can we can throw those bitches in there. They can do whatever, and then the Titanic's not ready to the Olympics not really.
boys on it.
Yeah, set sail, and so everyone will sail gung ho onto the Olympic, and which wasn't sea ready.
Yeah.
After all the trauma it took.
Yeah, and it was
And
actually
so-
like they couldn't get it insured either.
Exactly.
Because
But
all the shit that happened.
Since it is quotations Titanic, it's insured, and people
Yeah.
are on it, and it's
Also,
lively, and it's fine. And if it
if I
sinks,
remember-
it sinks.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, you could I think but didn't when it crashed into that Navy ship, didn't it get a rip in its hull where the Titanic got the rip in its hull
I believe
for
so.
the iceberg? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
That will go actually that whole segment will probably that goes to what we're going to talk about next, which is the conspiracy. But to get back to our question before you did research on this, Matt, did you know anything about this conspiracy, or have you heard any conspiracies on the Titanic?
I didn't hear a dick about it. All I knew was the movie. I know Rose, fucking
That
Leonardo
bitch throwing a
DiCaprio.
diamond into the sea like a dumbass after they
God damn.
No, dude. Matthew, I don't know if you ever rode the bus with us in high school, but there was this kid, and he would carry around a Titanic book, and it just had a bunch of conspiracies in there about it, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're fucking stupid! Shut the fuck up!" But look at us here, fucking talking about it on a podcast.
There used
Yeah,
to
but
be
that
this
kid, didn't that kid carry a gun in his backpack?
I'm sure you probably did. Fuck, dude.
There's
Yeah.
this guy that I went to school with, another Mike. I'm not gonna say his last name, but like I taught conspiracies with him a lot in middle school. Like he was super into that shit. Don't know where he is now, but he might be sitting next to a bear bowl writing angry letters to the government. So,
Checks out.
anyways, with that question that I asked everybody, I actually even though I did propose this topic, I didn't come up with it. I was thinking of conspiracies to do, and I asked my family, and my sister was just like, "Oh, you should do the one where they sank the Titanic on purpose." I was like, "What? What is this? Hold the fucking phone. Tell me more." And so I proposed this one. Like, I didn't know shit on this, and I'm so glad she proposed it because this is a great topic.
Dude, the whole Titanic thing's like a Batman thing to me. Well, the fact is that
Explain.
how many
I know,
okay,
what the fuck?
so how many people built the Batcave
Like-
and kept their mouth shut? Like how many
Illegal
people-
immigrants. No.
you had 15. What was it, like 1,500 people? What was it of people that supposedly like that worked on the Titanic that they made try to replicate, like make the Olympic
Yeah.
look exactly like it? You cannot keep all their mouths shut, especially
Well, it's
the
like
survivors
the
of the Titanic,
Titan-
ones that were shooken up because like a lot of the conspiracies, that they had a certain plan and it went sideways. And so they were shooken up because a lot of people that were supposed to survive it didn't.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me they all kept their mouths shut, including the one fucking guy that actually
got paid
never was
off,
on the
maybe.
Titanic, just ran his mouth like he was on there.
Yeah. But
Who came up with a lot of
well,
conspiracy
it's
shit
the
that everybody
Titanic
tried to
and the
follow. It
Olympic.
turns out he was just a not a crackhead. He was
The
just
Titan. Yeah, the Titanic and the Olympic actually did look very similar to begin with, and we'll get to that later on when we talk about the conspiracy. But I got another question for y'all.
One of them was actually 2 inches shorter than Mike's dick. But
Yeah, got a lot of
Another-
fucking shit here.
Hey, we're not talking about model boats here.
that's a lot to swallow.
You
It's a
fucking
different
wish,
conspiracy
Casey.
theory.
You fucking wish. No.
We don't need to
Fuck,
talk
what
about
was I
your
gonna say?
micro penis, Mike. That's why
You don't call him Mike for nothing.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
your dick's about as big as a Mike and Ike.
Just as
Hey,
tasty.
I got a
Yeah.
decent.
Just as tasty,
Decent.
just as fruity.
Okay, back to things at large here. The Titanic.
Yeah, back to things at large. Matt's dick. No.
Joseph's ass. No, let's
After Casey gets done with it, yeah. No.
fucking gape that thing right there.
He's a gaper.
Okay. Oh fuck! What was I gonna say? God damn it.
Sometimes you just gotta spit on it and go for it.
Yeah. Okay, so
I read this article the other day, just randomly on Facebook. It was about bromances, like actually bros, like just banging each other, but they're straight, but banging each other.
No, that's gay.
No, it's 2022, man.
You don't fuck a dude and be like, "We got such a great bromance. We're so straight." No, you
don't know.
fuck
We're
a
not
dude,
gay,
you're
bro.
gay.
We just both needed a nut.
The Spartans did it.
That's
Yeah,
like
but they
saying
needed
nothing-
to stay closer.
Maybe they
That
were
was
onto
different.
something.
Hey, Casey, until you're murdering the enemy army, don't talk about bros having sex.
Don't talk about fucking me in the ass unless we're
Don't talk about fucking me in the
war.
ass unless we're
You
going
got
to war
one
with
last
Russia.
nut. What are you gonna do?
Casey, unless you and me are going to go on an espionage mission to go assassinate Putin, don't try to fuck me in my
I'm
ass.
gonna be
all right?
putting it in your butt.
Are we talking about 300
He's
Spartans?
putting
Or are
it
we talking
everywhere.
about like Master Chief?
Either
I'll
way.
be Rasputin all that cum in your face, Casey. I just want to tell you that.
Okay, and with that, with the conspiracy side of it, how much did you guys know about what the official story of the Titanic is? Is there anything that you guys felt shifty about from the get-go that maybe any conspiracy kind of like hits you with, and you were like, "Oh fuck, that might be it," or just if you just felt shifty about any part of the Titanic actual story?
Well,
Or it
the
has-
The fact
captain,
that
he on the day of their voyage when he's going through the crossing, it was a standard practice to get crew and passengers all on the deck so that everybody knew how to work the lifeboats, in case of an emergency
a
bail.
catastrophe.
Yeah. Okay. No, but I guess on that day, the captain decided, hey, we don't need to do this drill. And the reason is still unknown. That seems kind of suspicious to me, just randomly. Just
Well,
like,
they didn't have enough lifeboats, so they're just like, there was no OSHA, I guess, and, they were just like,
had
"Let's slide under this shit."
those 4 boats. I think it was 4 that they were like collapsible boats that you had to like fold out or whatever, but they only deployed, I think maybe like one of them, and then they were throwing like boats upside down off the fucking thing. But no, it's just crazy that the captain would do that with his. I think he had like 26 years experience, and then was one his retirement voyage. He
As
wants to
many
fuck up.
experiences as your mom had section.
You know, like
Well, you
I feel like
with
you'd
me.
take your final voyage. I would take it personally if it was my final. Like if I was a pilot or a captain of a boat or something, my final voyage, I'd probably be safe as shit on that. You know, like because
Well, it depends how old you are at your final voyage. Whether you go like, you know what, I'm about to earn some great money for my family and gonna die on this bitch.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, yeah, you got a family. Think about that. Say you're old as fuck. It's your final voyage.
Dude,
and
I
you're
already
like,
already
we'll
done said I'd
we'll pay you
sacrifice
like,
my family to zombies, so I'm a selfish.
but like,
fucker.
say you're
Oh
like,
yeah, Casey did
old
say
as-
he would throw his kids as zombies, and this was his reasoning. He said because you can always make more.
And wait now, and for one,
I mean,
what's
he's
the
not
point of
wrong.
what's the point of everybody dying if you could just sacrifice one kid? You know?
Yeah. And you're like, we got another on the way. It doesn't matter.
And-
There's nothing to do. It's zombie
What if-
apocalypse. Powers out. All we're doing is fucking.
It needs a mini.
Yeah, for
version.
real
It
though,
needs a
honestly,
one.
in a zombie apocalypse, you know how many orgies would be going down and the people would just be dying.
Honestly, probably not a lot because everybody probably smell like shit. Nobody want to be like, oh yeah,
Dude, at that point, nobody cares because like if
Everybody
you think about
smells
it,
like a fucking dead
think about-
body. Who
dude,
cares
think
how
about
your fucking
old-
junk smells?
think about old fucking like England and shit. Like like old school days, like people took baths once a month. What was it? Like some crazy shit like that. People were fucking smelling
yeah, but
like ass.
it's different for people who never known.
They
good
probably
hygiene.
like, yeah, but they
And
probably
people
liked
from
it.
good hygiene.
They probably
good
wafted
hygiene,
it.
It's
They
different.
probably, Casey, they probably wafted that nasty ass and was like, "Oh God, I can
Oh my
smell you."
god.
Dude, you
Oh.
smell like the Seattle sea market
No,
or fish
But
market.
Oh man,
Okay,
you
back-
smell like you ate stroganoff last night.
oh my god.
Fuck.
Oh, that beef stew is rumbling in my
Oh
tummy.
man, let me.
Okay, but like Casey,
I just
back-
beef
Give me
brewed
that
when I.
Cleveland steamer.
fucking A. Back to like, if you were an old fucking captain of a ship, you were like super old, you wouldn't be like, hey, time to give some money to my family and just fucking sink this motherfucker.
No, fuck them, dude.
Okay.
What's the point of me leaving money for my family? What is it gonna do for me? I'm gonna be dead. It doesn't fucking matter.
He
Dude,
can't
if I'm an
enjoy it.
old man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would have went
He's
on that
part of
boat
the
for
family.
shits and giggles, high on everything imaginable. Like, I'm
I'd be
king of the
paying
world. Like,
myself
I would have had a slightly older man, like older than me, whatever the fuck, holding me like Leonardo DiCaprio held. What's her name?
Rose.
Rose. Well, I mean the actress's name. Anyways, I would have a slightly older man
It's not
hold me
important.
up on that.
But with that, does anybody else have fucking Mike Tyson?
A thing that
Does it-
doesn't add up.
Yeah, does anybody else have any fucking?
the fact that so JB Morgan. Wait, JB Morgan?
No, like with
JB.
the actual story, not the conspiracy.
No,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. That's what I'm
Oh.
saying.
Oh.
What doesn't add up is the fact that so he decided last minute that he fell ill, but also this does add up because the fact is my boy was getting some ill ass head that day. He was with his mistress. He was found with his mistress doing shit. I get that one, but then whatever Hershey didn't go either. We're just gonna, for the sake of whatever, we're gonna call him Herschel Hershey. The fucking he didn't. I'm pretty sure he didn't go on the boat either. Like he called out at the last second too. What was he doing? Not developing new Reese's Pieces. I know that for a fact.
Does Hershey's own Reese's?
I have
have
no
no
idea.
idea.
Do not quote me on that.
I can tell you they own tons of people that make them.
Yeah. What about you,
Uh,
Matt? When you knew the official story of the Titanic, were you like, was like, oh, that seems off about anything?
Oh, I mean, I didn't think there was anything big behind it, honestly.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
then it makes sense. There's a possibility.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things that directly.
Oh, yeah.
affect you
Like,
kind of thing.
I
You guys-
always was like, nothing seems off other than the fact that it's like, really, an iceberg tore through a steel ship, and that was about it.
yeah.
Okay.
that
So-
was like,
You guys, the important thing here is Reese's Pieces is in fact owned by Hershey. So we're all good.
It,
All right.
it is
Okay,
kind of weird
and
that
continue
such
whatever
a
bullshit you
Goliath
guys are talking
of
about.
a ship in such a there was tons of money invested in this, and it's like you guys didn't do the science, you guys didn't work out the kinks. Like how was it put down like that?
yeah.
It was just like I don't know. How do people
Why the
have too
fuck
much
did
trust in
Well-
that?
this ship that you guys said was unsinkable sink?
Well, the
Just a
captain
Really,
fucking
pretty
iceberg.
easily, yeah.
Oh yeah, and the
captain
fact
wasn't
that
even on
it didn't
deck.
get the full so all ships have to be tested however amount of time it was, and yeah, God, dude, I don't know the details right now. Titanic, when they did their little test run thing, it wasn't as long as a normal ship should be. It was like, okay, like yeah, okay, we're done. Like, hurry up. Like, what, half an hour? Half a day?
That's corporate.
I'm just saying
greed
half an
for
hour
you.
Wait, what?
Oh, so-
That's corporate greed for you.
Yeah. That's
So
what
that's-
like they sped it up. Like I've seen
Yeah.
health inspectors go into a store and see shit that obviously I'd be disgusted fucking
Yeah.
eating at, but they're like, yeah, it's okay. Just don't have paper towels next to your sink and then walk away.
Yeah. Y'all
Like,
got any?
but, I mean, that's a thing. You could pay people for shit like that.
Yeah. Y'all got any more
Yes.
tidbits or questions on the official Titanic story?
Well, yeah. So some official things. So the captain wasn't even on deck when the Titanic went down. He was probably in his quarters.
Jacking it.
Yeah, probably. Who the fuck
Lazy
knows?
as fuck.
But so we had William Murdoch on deck. He was fucking in charge of the ship. And
He was from
now,
Hell's Kitchen.
so when he heard the lookouts, when they phoned down to let him know that there's an iceberg on course, what's it called? He basically had three choices, and in those three choices, he had to make it in a
Chose
matter
a
of
jacket.
seconds. He could have attempted to turn port, hoping to miss the iceberg completely, going at the current speed they were going. He could have reversed the engine and applied full power to try to slow and just skip the collision altogether. And then the third choice is which he did. He reversed the engines and turned to port, and that's why it crashed.
It
With-
sounds like my
some
man
anal-
was.
yeah,
it
with
sounds
some
like-
analysts.
Guys,
Hold
it
on.
sounds like
one.
no. It sounds
With-
like he was conflicted. I'm not
Yeah.
very good at organ
Well, yeah,
trails
well,
either, but
yeah.
goddamn.
With
Analysis
some
said that
with-
he made the
and-
right call. Like anybody would have made that call. He just
Well, with
chose the
some-
wrong one.
With some analysts who have analyzed the Titanic crash, they said that actually is the cause of the sinking of it. They would have hit it head on at full speed. They would have broke it
Or
because they had
decision.
ice
It
ram on
happened.
it. But because they slowed down and turned, slowing down fucked up their turning, and then they turned, which made them hit it. So
And
They
had the
fucking just-
lookouts even had binoculars to begin with, they would have
Yeah.
had more time to turn.
yeah,
this
that
shit.
too. It's like imagine looking in the fucking cold ass fog with your eyes. Shit.
Yeah,
the
fact
Fucking
is
hit it,
the moon
and 1,500
yes.
people die.
the moon wasn't out that night. Like all you could see is like the stars, like at best, in a very pitch black sky. And the fact that an iceberg flipping over is dark, like you're getting the dark
Yeah.
side of the iceberg, like that shit happens, and then in a panic, and we don't know like the entire fucking thing with this dude. Like if you put me in that position, 100%, I'm gonna do something weird like that. I will. I will do something weird when it's like, oh fuck, I'm trying to do this or I'm trying to do that. Fuck it, I'm gonna do both. And
Worst
knowing
ship.
me, my ass would have been drunk
Best
beforehand
submarine.
and then after. And who knows? Maybe it was the first time anybody in England's ever tried methamphetamine. And so it's like,
Well, the shitty
Yeah,
thing about
want
what the
fatigue.
captain did, and which is not probably it is the captain's fault because he's in charge of the ship. You know, that's his realm.
yeah, no,
It
that
doesn't
is
matter who owns
100%
the
his
ship or not.
fault.
It doesn't matter who owns the ship or not, and which he was under pressure from the White Star Line. They're like, oh, let's speed up this ship. Let's get there a day early. Let's surprise everybody so we can make the morning papers, you know. And so he speeds up the ship, knowing there's ice going because he's had multiple ice warnings throughout the day. But
Yeah,
still,
but he's like,
Drinks?
fuck it. What are the?
He
He's like,
keeps-
fuck it. What are the
he keeps
odds
his
I'm gonna
speed.
hit an iceberg?
but he's like, oh, we would see anything that's going to damage our ship in time before
Yeah.
anything. So one of his problem was he had his overconfidence, and then plus I felt like he was being pressured by the White Star Line to continue to go at the same
Typical
speed
whites pressuring you to do shit.
just to get that that publicity for that morning papers. Oh, look at these guys went across the Atlantic in this many days. They came in a day early. The biggest, fastest ship in the world.
And it's the same
what
shit
they
with
were
the
fucking doing.
Amelia.
And their
Amelia-
greed led to their demise, which led to their sinking.
Dude, that's what I feel like what happened to Amelia Earhart. She had big coochie energy. and she thought she could do all this shit with less stops. So
She thought her knee flaps can keep her up higher
yeah.
than she did.
Unfortunately, her big coochie energy was not big coochie inflatable device because she crashed in the ocean. She didn't make it.
Oh,
And Mike,
fuck.
don't you dare edit that out. It's staying.
Oh,
Don't
I'm-
you dare
I'm
edit that out.
not.
No.
That's sick.
That's bullshit. You're telling me she did not wrap that shit around her neck and make it an inflatable device?
Looking like a
bullshit.
wait, what's that Pokemon called? Looking like a Floatzel. Just
That weasel motherfucking thing.
that weasel thing with the floating
otter.
device around its neck.
Otter with
Yeah.
the
That
floating-
reminds me of the kid like on South Park, you know, the ones that the family wear the life jackets just in case there's a flood in it, then the flood that the
Oh
kid
yeah.
dies.
Oh yeah. Sometimes Spider-Man works in mysterious ways.
Okay. And
Oh,
with that,
man.
I think we should go to break.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Matt. Thanks, guys, for listening in. If you guys really enjoy us, like and subscribe, maybe comment, share us. We're on all platforms, guys. So keep in touch with us, keep touching yourself, and we'll just keep getting this thing going, and we'll keep talking about conspiracy theories, all right?
And we're back. Let's get into this shit. Who's got some conspiracy stuff? Let's fucking go.
Joseph,
Well, yeah.
the biggest conspiracy that you got, what is it? Let's hear it, boy.
Conspiracy.
Oh, Daddy, what you got, son?
We're still on Roswell, right? No, I'm just playing. No. Okay. No.
Fucking deserts, you know? Fucking aliens. It had to
So
be.
what I
There's a big
double on the bottom of this Titanic. Nobody want to talk about it, but it is.
Listen here, brother.
Oh yeah, let me tell you something, okay? They had the California going driving there, and it had everything like it was supposed to be a goddamn lifeboat, okay? It was the cream of the crop. It was supposed to meet them at a certain coordinate, and they were supposed to meet up, but shit went
Latitude,
sideways.
longitude.
Shit went sideways when they hit that iceberg. You know, when they had all them lifeboats on there wasn't enough for every single person on there. The California was supposed to bring the rest.
Break your breath.
I'm your friend.
Now, here's the thing. Do I keep that?
Yes. Keep it. Yeah.
I'll fucking
Did you guys understand what I was saying?
kind of.
Okay. For those who don't speak Randy Savage, the Californian, okay, so there was a coal shortage and all this shit. It was hard to get whatever. It seemed like the Californian was fucking chock full of this shit. Like they had fucking anal cavities full of this shit. And so they seemed to be able to get it just fine. And they were the boat seemed to just be loaded with shit like it was a fucking lifeboat. Like it had life jackets and fucking whatever else. And it seemed like it was supposed to like it was going on course to fucking meet the Titanic or the Olympic
Yours.
at a fucking certain coordinate. Like it was
Joseph,
supposed
what
to
was
be
that- what
planned.
was
Like
that?
there wasn't supposed to be any casualties, or if there was, it was supposed to be what?
What was the ship that you said it was?
Olympic?
Californian. Or the
California.
Olympic.
Oh no, the other ship. Yeah, the Californian was the one that was supposed to be fucking coming
Do
to
all the
like
rescue
aid.
duties.
Yeah, to do all the rescue duties because the shit was planned.
Was
So-
that the one that was closer? But was the Carpathia the one that came back and rescued the people?
I believe so.
Or-
The California got all the shit for not rescuing people.
Yeah, the
Okay, that's
California
what I
was
thought
supposed to-
because they were in the
Well-
distance, and I believe that one saw a. That
They
one
had to pay
saw
too many
a
taxes
flare,
before they
but-
left the
But when
the
they
shore.
saw the flare up, I guess it was a white flare and it wasn't a red flare, so I guess they ignored it. But even though everybody in New York was getting these transmissions that the ship has hit an iceberg, they should have been getting the same transmissions because they should have radio frequency going. They should have radio contact open. So
Is that my kids screaming? Or was that
I think so.
yeah,
oh shit.
but
But
yeah,
who's
so,
got
like,
who's got the history on this conspiracy? Let's start with the insurance fraud, since that's the most in-depth one.
Oh hell yeah.
Who's got this history? I know Matt already talked on it a little bit. Well, actually, he
that
talked on it a lot. He
Matt, you
had
got
a
that
lot of great
fraud.
information. But
Yeah,
who wants to break this shit down? And
Well,
let's
it
get
seems like
serious with
Matt
it.
has the fraud and he's got the nice buzz. So why don't you go ahead and ease us into it?
So the conspiracies, I mean, it gets pretty deep, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what they think might have happened is like one of the biggest insurance frauds in history.
I don't buy it.
So Well, you're not a shareholder, so fortunately for you, no. So I mean, it probably costs like tons of money or whatever. They're building a ship. They built twin sister ships along the side. There's Titanic and Olympic, and the
weren't-
Olympic ship
They're
Matt.
identical.
was like they're twin sister ships, and this was like the main ship. Maybe people would have set the voyage on this ship. It was a little bit too big, a little too hard to handle, and so what happened was it was moving on course, or I don't know if it was like a test course or what, but it would often kind of like move kind of towards things, gravitate towards things. It was kind of hard to control. It's a big bitch, and then and so it got a little bit too close to what was it was like a naval ship. It was the HMS Hawk, I believe, and the underwater battering ram punctured a big ass hole in the ship, and I mean, whose fault it was, it doesn't really matter. It's like you could take the Navy to court, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to get any money from that. So all the shareholders, everyone else would be out of money, And so what they end up doing is rather than people set sailing on what they thought was the Titanic was actually the sister ship. It was the Olympic.
Yeah. Do the yeah.
Well, I mean, oh yeah.
Fucking Joseph over here getting ready to be a fucking disc jockey.
Oh, God.
Yeah, there you go.
I have wood for days for this.
Well, they say that
Good.
J.P. Morgan planned the disaster to kill off his rivals because his rivals opposed the creation of the Federal Reserve.
One would
I
say
believe more that he was just trying to get his
down.
money back. But
When I looked that up and it was like, oh, it's on QAnon, it's like, oh, fuck.
it was on QAnon. I don't believe anything
Yeah.
that comes from the fucking QAnon shit.
Well, this
Hey.
Is that what the Q
this
stands for in
came out-
LGBTQ? I'm sorry, but you probably should keep that in.
Yeah, oh, no, it's staying.
And
But,
in
I
all,
guess-
in
I
all
guess,
seriousness,
rivals said he
I
had
have
the-
nothing against LGBTQ. It was just a funny joke. I mean, you can cancel me, but you ain't gonna get much out of canceling me. So
But I guess
Okay.
J.P. Morgan, he planned it to kill off his rivals, Jacob Astor, Isidore Stratus, and Benjamin Guggenheim.
button.
Yeah.
And one of them, I forgot who it was. I believe it was Isidore Stratus. I by accounts, he went out like a fucking badass. You guys, I was listening to this.
Was he one of those
documentary.
violin players in the movie?
No, he was one of the guys that J.P. Morgan had killed off, but he was one of the co-founders of Macy's. But this guy,
The Macy
Yeah.
Day Parade, I fuck with that.
so at
Every
the
year.
time, before the captain called every man for himself, they were doing the women and children. Throwing
Oh,
them in
that's
the lifeboat.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Did he do the Billy Zane thing or no?
I thought we were doing the Catholic Church fucking later on this season.
No.
Or are they,
Well,
rather,
yeah.
are they going to be doing us? Or did they do our former selves? This is all time travel fucking theory.
You gotta wait on the
Yeah,
altar
yeah,
for your
yeah.
turn.
We're
Wait at the altar for your turn,
currently,
please.
we're currently in the future and in the past being molested by a
Yeah.
priest.
Hey, you know what's so fucked up? Like, think about this. Okay, I'm pitching a fucking great movie. Okay, so a child is molested by a Catholic priest. All for the kid to grow up mad, goes back in time and molests himself as a Catholic priest. It's just nonstop, a never-ending wormhole of him fucking himself.
Wait.
That's hella meta.
Oh my god.
Oh
Wait,
man,
was
dude,
it-
that's the most meta molestation joke I've
Played,
ever heard.
played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh hell yeah! No, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and then fucking Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah, the Looper, right?
That's just-
Is that
Yeah,
what
the
the
Looper.
Looper's about? Looper's about,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's exactly what the Looper is about. That is the actual
I
plot of
just
that movie.
watched that like this week.
Did you?
Hella
Yeah.
funny.
Did they
Did you get hard
CG
during
shift
it,
so their
did you?
eyes look similar, or do they just have similar eyes with wrinkles?
No, they got different eyes. He wore contacts.
Is that no? I mean,
But-
like it looked like they gave him the same like wrinkly thing, like his
Nah,
whole
bro.
eye
He
area.
he just squinted.
Oh, it's just- which is
Bruce
all
Willis.
Bruce Willis's acting comes from is him actually squinting.
Hey,
That is his facial expressions.
you don't remember any of
Okay.
this anymore. He's in a serious condition right
No,
now.
but back to Titanic, you dumb fuck.
So my boy
He's
is
in Bruce Remembrance. He's not Bruce Remembrance. Remembrance. Okay,
so
my
my,
bad.
my boy Isidore Stratus.
What?
He was the co-founder of Macy's. He was one of the guys that were killed off. But so when they were loading up the women and children on the boats, I guess his wife was standing there, and he got him on the boat, and obviously he couldn't go on. And I guess she told him, she's like, "Oh, go to the other side, find a boat, find a boat." And I guess he just stood there, and he's like, "I'll see you in New York." And he just stood on that spot where he was while she was lowered into
Did he
the
just
water.
die there?
Yeah, and basically just went down with the ship because
That's a fucking man right there. Holy fuck.
he knew that he wasn't going to be getting off that ship. So he said he basically just told his wife, "He's like, oh, I'll see you in New York," and just let her and his kid.
No,
float.
it's like anything to get her onto the fucking lifeboat.
Fucking respect to that guy, you know.
Yeah, for real, man. That's some serious shit. I couldn't imagine that. Like, oh my god.
Yeah,
you
no,
imagine-
that's probably like being his wife, like watching from the boat is pretty traumatizing. It's like,
Yeah. Could you
I mean,
imagine,
that-
like, if it wasn't women and children, if like,
Yeah, but imagine that
like
shit
your
going
friend,
on.
like, dude, like, say it's just like any one of us in this fucking thing was just like one of us had to stay behind, and you're just like, hey, I'll meet you there. Get on the boat.
yeah,
and
no,
just
no,
fucking
and
died.
then yeah, dude, and then feel like from his wife's perspective, seeing him in the water right there, like that is my second favorite Thanksgiving Macy's parade float. Next to Pikachu. Next to Pikachu.
Oh my god. No, but like Matt, you want to give us the official history or the unofficial history of this conspiracy?
Yeah. I don't know the quite too much on it, my man.
Did he talk about that Patty the Pig dude? Like that's what I kept seeing people talk about is him because he kept talking about the fire that was in the bottom of the Titanic for weeks on end.
Yeah.
And that there was the whatever thing,
Yeah.
and coincidentally it was whatever. But the fact is, he wasn't on survival records, which makes sense because there were a lot of people that weren't on the survival records. But this motherfucker, he wasn't even on the fucking roster of the fucking employees. He was never on the thing. He was an Irish dude. And like they said, chances are he just wanted to fucking get free drinks at the bar to spin a fucking good tale. Like I listened,
My
I listened to it. Yeah,
My
I listened to
man.
an Irish fucking radio whatever guy in this documentary where he was talking about. He's like, oh, chances are he's just like any other Irishman, just sitting there, just wanting a free drink or whatever the fuck he said.
Yeah.
That was
being-
a pretty good Irish accent, you know.
Was it?
Him,
Well, I mean, I am
dude, that's really
70-some% Irish. I mean, don't mean to
Yeah.
brag.
good. Matt does a good one also.
Very cool.
That's also a cut.
Yes.
I'm
Now,
Irish right down to me knickers. But no, I don't know the like I don't know the history of like the conspiracy.
well, if you
But I know
shut the
people
fuck up, I can
people
educate
like
you.
there's
Yeah, let
people
Casey
like
talk.
fucking there's people like Patty the Pig who claim that they were part of whatever. But then I've heard things of other people claiming that they
Yeah.
worked on the interior and stuff.
Yeah,
and
bring
they
that
never...
bring that up after the official history.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Fuck you guys.
apparently the Olympic was damaged sailing from Southampton to New York in 1911 and had to return to Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast for repairs, and it returned a couple weeks right before Titanic's maiden voyage, and they said that the Olympic was found to be too severely damaged, so it was it'd be here I'm gonna say. It said the Olympic was found to be too severely damaged to be profitable, so they wanted to switch the ships to collect the insurance money.
Yeah, except for the fact is that the
I believe they
insurance money
repainted
wouldn't
it
have
and then
covered it.
carpeted it, right?
Yeah, so when it was in there to get its repairs that it was doing, it was actually just getting swapped. The ship's
Yeah, they painted it like they painted the Olympic like the Titanic and then carpeted the linoleum.
yeah.
Yeah, the only problem was like basic things like screws and other things like that they couldn't replicate because it was already in the fucking ship.
Yeah,
Like, that was
but
the
like
other problem.
a lot of stuff was easy to replicate, like all the fucking
Yeah.
all
The
the
basic
stuff that was
ship, but
added,
not the-
added
yeah.
to the ship, all
The
the
ad-
life vest, everything
yeah.
like that. It was just for pretty much every ship from this
Hmm.
company. All the lifeboats did not have to be changed, all that shit. So
The
yeah.
thing is
So it was
about
really
like that
easy
whole
to
thing
switch it
too.
over.
I've seen in videos of the actual yard where they took the Olympic. There was no room for the Titanic, and the fact that like the whole thing about trying to switch the boats, there wasn't enough time to do that in the area they had the Olympic fucking set at, and there was only one fucking dock for it. It would have costed way too much and created way too much noise and way too much of a thing to flip ships.
Yeah, but if they
Again,
already
unless you
had,
paid, Unless you paid the whole fucking
No, unless
dock
they
to look
switched
the other
it
way.
way beforehand.
They switched titles. They switched titles, not ships.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
The
Well, see,
Titanic
now
was
that
just
would
sitting
that
there.
would make sense. But again,
well,
the
the Titanic
fucking
was already
parts.
there, and then the Olympic comes into port to get its repairs, and then they just flip. They repair. They half-assed the repair. You
But
know.
again,
Yeah.
but again,
They, switched
the
the
Batman
valves in.
effect, guys. The
Yeah.
Batman effect. You cannot have that many workers that do not want to get some of that fucking.
Yeah, but you can
$2
have
million
like two
gotta
workers to
help them out to
half-ass a
build this
welding
boat.
job.
Yeah,
You can have
and
two
that was
workers to
Yeah, but they
half-ass
had
a welding
15.
job.
The fact is, they had 1,500 people doing it.
but that
You're
was
gonna
the
keep
Yeah,
fault of
to
the
build the
Titanic.
damn thing, not to fucking
No,
swap
to
it.
repol.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the people that they had repolstering shit and all
Well,
that.
the hush hush job was the default of the Titanic or the Olympic. The hush hush job, it wasn't professionally done, and so they slapped a patch on it.
Yeah.
And
I know,
that's
but
all
like
they did.
recovery, but like recovery
And
of
that's
the
why it
boat
wasn't-
doesn't match the Olympic stuff. Like the fact
Yeah,
is that
but
the front of the
The
Titanic
Olympic,
was
when it crashed
sprayed.
into the Navy boat, it got the same.
So it
damage on the
when
right-
it did that,
the
it
right
reconfigured the
quarter.
front too, because there's no
The
way that
front-
it crashed and then the flat it went to a perfect fucking like whatever, and
No,
that it didn't add extra windows to a fucking boat that they added at last second
So
on the
Joseph-
Titanic before it crashed.
So let me poke a little hole in your little Batman theory. So what if they just told the masses like, oh, we're just upgrading the Olympic. This is what's going on. They only have maybe a handful of people that they actually switch the boat titles to that they entrust to do so. So everybody
That
is
wouldn't
just,
make any
everybody
sense
else
because they
everybody
would
else just
know-
thinks that they're just upgrading the boat, and they just like, oh yeah, we're just putting some new shit in here. But really, in fact, that they're just
The
doing
one
this
thing that
just
didn't
to
add up is
make
that
it-
the Titanic's fucking whatever coal room thing was like old material or some shit like that. Like that
Which-
part I get, but I don't. You can't
So you
keep that
believe
many people.
you believe
quiet.
the coal fire theory more than the insurance fraud theory.
No, I believe that the insurance fraud could have happened, but the fact is that's a lot of people to keep quiet. Where
Not-
in history
not if-
have you
not
known
if-
that many people have kept
Dude,
quiet?
this is
Like, it would be kept quiet for
19
years.
fucking-
Not necessarily like
Yeah, but
bro.
there's things older than that that couldn't even be kept quiet. Like,
Well,
and then the fact is that they can't prove any of these theories because the only hunk of metal they've gotten out was like a piece that matched the Titanic's blueprints and not the other one. And the fact is that it doesn't look like it's been tampered with or nothing. Like you've seen that's like going back to the alien thing. It's like, oh, this has been tampered with. You can see. But then you're gonna turn around. It's like, no, they had technology with this to where it doesn't look like it's tampered with. It's like then you're just splitting hairs between conspiracies. It's like it's almost like you're just being blind to what you want to believe at that point.
Well, everybody's like that.
Yeah, no, and I get that, and it's like, and I'm going both ways with this because it easily
you
could
Well,
have
you
done.
you always swing both ways. so.
Yeah, oh hell yeah, dude, I would fuck Leonardo DiCaprio and fucking Kate Winslet, and I'd let him draw a picture of me, fucking them both. But no, I'm saying
He'd
though,
paint
it's like
you like one of his French girls.
yeah.
No, not like one of his
Problem
French
because-
worlds.
Okay,
Like
so
one of his
everybody-
Thai lady boys.
That's the thing because after all that shit happened, there was a bunch of people coming out about conspiracies, but none of them were people that actually worked on the shit. It's like, well, my friends.
Well, the
my
people who
friend's
worked on the
cousin
ship
knew-
died.
Well, no, I'm saying the people
know.
that worked on the ship, the people that helped whatever, they came to light. And
Yeah, the
said,
people
like,
that built it, but like they
But the
did-
people
for
that were
those-
coming-
for the repairs and then just changing the name, bro. You don't need
Yeah, but
that could be
people
done
that,
in a fucking night by like two
But people
people.
that worked on both ships would say there was whatever, but people that never had anything to do with it, that you found out were just trying to get attention, were the people coming up front like, buy me a beer, I'll tell you what I did on this ship. And it's like, dude, no, you weren't on that ship. And it's like, no, impossible. You don't know what you're talking about. It's like, bro, look at the documentation. Like
The conspiracy
there was more people that had
a-
nothing to do with it, that the timelines didn't add up, talking about how this is how they did it, rather than the actual people working on it did. Like it just until you can like nobody that actually worked on it ever said anything. Just people that claimed they worked on it said that it was a fucking switch. People that had nothing to do with it, which almost seemed like people that wanted attention. But like that old fucking guy that was talking, I mean, he could have been fucking out of his mind because he's old as fuck, but he remembered as a kid. Like you could tell the difference, like whatever, when the boat came back, it was the same fucking boat.
Oh, hold on. Hey, can
Face was gonna fall off.
wait? Joseph.
The
You
sound went
back?
out.
I got.
Yeah, we lost audio for a sec. I don't know what happened.
Oh, wait, you couldn't hear me?
Yeah, just
Yeah, I'm
for a
glad.
second.
I was just like, I'm like, I hope
I'm gonna
everybody
be right back.
knows. Like,
But
Where did I cut off at?
you were saying something as a kid. You're like, oh, as a kid, and then you cut out.
There was some guy. I don't know the fucking. They were talking to him, but he said that it was all rubbish, whatever, because
Straight
it was
rubbish.
rubbing something.
the boat. Because he remembered seeing the boat leave, and then when it came back, it was fucking. I don't know. He seemed to think the rumors were false. His dad worked on the shipyard, whatever. He started crying when the Titanic shit happened, and his dad wasn't like.
Yeah,
made it
because
seem
he
like his
knew he
dad wasn't
fucked
the
that
type-
ship up. He killed 1,500 people. No.
I'm not like I can go either way. I don't believe in keep that many people fucking quiet. And I get like the whole switching around, like whatever they lead them to believe whatever happened. That is the most logical with that. Like that makes sense, but I just don't think. I don't know. I just don't think that you could keep that many people quiet. That's the same thing with like fucking Batman. Like people always fucking say, it's like, how does nobody know he's Batman? It's like you got that many people that built that fucking Bat cave because you know damn well he
That
didn't do it
motherfucker was
himself.
just hella good at.
And it's like
fucking-
the most
He was like a
historical
great
thing in
architectural
Gotham.
engineer or something.
The most historical thing in Gotham is fucking this mass vigilante that nobody knows who he is, but he strikes fear in everybody's hearts. Somebody's gonna be like, yeah, I know him. Somebody would do that with Titanic, the greatest
And
like
then
fucking
they'd
insurance
die.
fraud in history.
The man
And then-
would fucking kill him.
well, then that
The
means there
people
would have
with
to be
the
more
money
people in
would
play.
assassinate him.
Okay,
That means that the insurance
listen,
companies themselves would have to be in play, or somebody above the insurance companies would have
let's
to
say
be a
this
part of
ship
that.
wasn't,
It's not just JB Morgan.
Well, you can argue this thing that you're arguing with every conspiracy, but you got to remember that like there's people that in the shadows, like there's secret organizations, or not necessarily secret, but just like people with money who
Shadow
pay to get
government,
people
man.
killed. You know, money buys a lot of shit,
Yeah, it does.
and
Well,
the
that's
stuff that
thing.
it doesn't buy, it buys the stuff to kill that stuff.
That's the thing that I would argue that it could have happened is the fact that you can pay off fucking
Like,
anybody.
Look at any conspiracy, fucking JFK, anything.
And
fucking,
naval
like,
fraud,
bro,
shit.
money
Naval fraud back
buys
then
a
was
lot.
very, or maybe it still is, but naval fraud is very common, or was very common. So it happened a lot. It's just everything with that. God damn it.
Well, what
That
about
happened.
Oh, I spilled a beer all over my lap.
That's what you get, bitch. The
Would it
man
be the
totally
best
gets
switch?
you.
The
What
fact
if
that
it wasn't
the
a-
fact that the way that they switched that, it would have had to have been Submission Impossible best switch in the history of the world.
Not necessarily. You just get a.
Well, no,
fucking
that's what literally, if you look at any
you
conspiracy
hire
thing
a
about it,
couple fucking rednecks
Well, like-
with some
like, look-
pencils to go spray paint the back of that
Well, no,
goddamn
if
ship, say yeehaw, it's fucking Titanic.
if you look it up, they literally
Okay,
say
as-
that it
as a
literally would have been
construction
the
worker-
greatest switch in history. It would have been
As
the
a
greatest.
construction worker, I've been hired by like Folsom Outlets to go and patch signs and put up new signs at night.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
I'm
like,
saying this is a fucking giant ass ship. Like I'm saying that.
yeah, but
like,
they're
look
just
at-
changing like one or two
right, no,
things.
but-
It's not a lot.
Yeah, but it's not like it's
No,
not
but
like
I'm
everything.
talking- no,
it's
I'm
not
not-
like everybody
you
like
guys,
the common.
I'm not
public
talking about that. I'm
can do
talking
like
about
that.
where you guys. I'm talking about where the ship was. That they would have to have switched the ships when nobody was looking. They said that the shipyard.
You just wait
Like, look
till
at the
night.
shipyard. and stuff.
Those are both ships.
This
going
isn't
to
fucking
shipyard
New
at
York.
the
It's
same
not the
time.
city that never
you guys,
sleeps. It's just
you guys look it up. Like it's literally called the greatest switch of all time if it's true. Like I'm not the one that just made this up. Like
It
if
says
it happened, that
fucking
means it was
David
the
Blaine's out
greatest
there.
switch in history.
Yeah, because
It
David
was the
Blaine's out
greatest
there.
switch in history.
He's over there fucking pulling his goddamn devil strings that he does.
Okay, but I am saying like it's not like I'm just saying then it's the greatest switch in history. It's like that's literally
Not
watch most of the
necessarily.
documentaries. That's what they say. It's the greatest switch in history.
Well, I don't
So-
believe that for a second. There's
That is a
definitely
massive-
be better
that is a
switches. I mean,
massive
fucking
blow.
David Copperfield made a plane disappear. But fucking
but that's-
no,
that's
this switch ain't bad. You just
I mean,
one
David
night you just
Copperfield.
move it in and out. It's
David
not like
Blaine.
fucking
No, the
Belfast
timing
is fucking
didn't.
New
The
York.
fact
Guys,
is, you
it
look. You
it
would have to
literally
move
doesn't
that giant ass
have-
boat. You would have to move that giant ass boat in the middle of
It's
the night
not-
every night, like and shroud it. Like it
Not
was
every
so
night,
massive.
just one night.
Guys,
Just
guys,
one
the
minute
thing,
took
the
way-
boat did not switch. It was the titles. The
Yeah.
title.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
And-
The title thing makes sense, but you cannot switch that boat.
They did not switch it
Yeah,
physically.
that's
Physically, the boat did not switch.
Joseph, and
That's what I'm
switching the titles
saying.
and switching
And
the boat.
you did
is
not
like
take a
kind of like-
giant ass crane and flip the boats. The
No, no,
title
that's-
thing
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
okay, so
was-
that's-
It was
when
a title, guys.
When
Yeah,
people were trying to, when
One
people
at a
were
time,
trying to say
peoples.
they, you guys, when people were trying to say they flipped the literal boat, it would have been the
No.
greatest switch of all fucking time.
Oh, I didn't.
And it's
It was the titles.
That's what I'm trying to
guys.
say. Is like if they did that, it literally been the greatest switch of all time. There's no way that would add up. The only way it could have is with the fucking title. Like that's the only way that it would.
I think we're all arguing the same thing, but just thought
I think
we were
so,
arguing
but,
different
like,
fucking shit.
Because there's,
I
I'm saying
didn't
there's
know
no
you were
way you
saying
can
moving
flip.
the physical ships. I
Yeah,
thought you were
the
talking
physical.
about like,
That's
there's
what
no
I'm
way
saying.
that
You
could switch
cannot.
the titles
You
that
cannot
time.
move a physical ship in that time without anybody seeing. That it would have to be an actual. Like they would have to trick everybody into thinking, oh, this was the boat all along. Because there's no
Yeah.
way that you can flip the actual fucking boats in the middle of the night. Because that means this boat
Oh,
would
yeah,
have to
there's-
been trailing, hidden in the fucking mist of something the
Yeah,
entire time.
And then
Because
well,
everybody
that's-
would have to
necessarily
see it at the
because
same
that's
shipyard.
like I said, it's not New York. People go to sleep. They just do it. in the
Yeah,
middle
but
of
they
the night.
don't sleep for 16 to 24
Guys.
hours like a day.
Guys,
Why would it
Night.
take that long to fucking move a ship?
Because they
It
moved
takes
to a
maybe an
different
hour.
yard.
guys,
It's not.
the-
But it
the-
wasn't close
I think
quarters
it
like
take longer
that.
than an hour.
the conspiracy behind it was just a title swap, not the physical ship.
No,
Because
that's what
that
I'm
was before
saying.
they had
Somebody said you
names
couldn't
behind them.
switch-
So there was
There
no
was an
actual
argument that
names
somebody-
behind them.
That's what I'm saying.
They-
There was somebody that was trying
Yeah.
to argue about, like,
We're
arguing
building-
can they flip the
yeah,
switch,
no, no.
the ships, and there's like that's physically
Well,
impossible.
But that's and then basically what they did, because they were built, and I seen a
The
picture
title,
of them
that's
building
what they said,
in
the
the
only
same.
thing
I've
was
seen
for-
them in the same harbor.
in the
They have
same
a
harbor, but
picture of
this
them in
was
the same
before-
harbor.
Look,
And so the
where
twin
they took
sister
the
ships
damage-
built damn near identical, and pretty much what they did was we are building the Olympic, we're building the Titanic. The Titanic is going to be what we're going to sail on. They sailed the Olympic in test, and they kept moving up. No one knows what ship is which, because they can switch it, or they can say, "Hey, wait, never mind. This one was the Titanic."
Well,
Never mind,
and the
this one's
fact is,
Olympic."
most
And so-
Matthew,
Which is
most
They didn't
pictures-
know.
Matthew, most videos they had were pictures of the Olympic, not the Titanic. Like they say, Titanic was in New York. It never touched New York. Never,
Yeah.
the Titanic was never in New York, and they
Olympic
flipped it.
was
Well,
the,
unless-
they kept
the
saying-
actual
An
ship
Olympic ship.
that sailed. Olympic
Or the
sailed.
Olympic wasn't in New York. One of them wasn't in New York, and they kept showing pictures of that ship instead of the actual ship, or saying it was the other ship, not the one that was actually there.
Yeah,
like a
'cause,
lot of their video
well,
footage
yeah.
is not of the actual ships, so it's
The
hard to
conspira-
tell if they were fucking exactly identical, other
And-
than the one where they had them face to face.
The conspiracy lies that people actually, that, the whole name of the Hollywood blockbuster James Cameron should be the Olympic, not the Titanic kind of thing is all. And so it's, everything that happened. It actually really happened kind of thing, but it was the Olympic.
It
that
was
The
a
actually-
question is
different
whether or
ship.
not whether it was the actual ship that fucking sunk or not.
Yeah, the actual ship, it's all political is what
But
it
a
is.
lot of the fucking videos you see of a ship is the wrong ship.
could
like
be,
the
yeah,
one in New York
could
and
be.
everything else.
Yeah, but let's
Again, trying to see
okay.
this
How about we say
the
this?
Patty the Pig dude's face? I'm looking at his fucking face.
How about
right now.
this?
It's like
There was no
it's like you have
like,
two cars. It's like when you own two of the exact.
All I was trying to say is they
twin
didn't
cars,
physically move
you only
the
have
ship.
insurance on one. You drive two twin cars. You only have insurance on one. Which one crashes? In quotations, obviously the one you had insurance on, is all it is.
well, they use VIN numbers, so yeah, I don't think you can get away with
Well,
that.
no, you
but-
make sure you have
Yeah,
both
you
plates
can't with
with
VIN
you.
numbers and.
Yeah.
Well, the
That's
thing
the
is,
thing,
that
too.
was
Hey, that's the
before
thing too. The
plates.
ship has VIN
That was
numbers on
before
them too.
plates.
Well, before
That
the
was-
ships have VIN numbers too, like kind of.
That's
yeah,
just a change of
the Olympic-
paperwork. That's
But
easy.
that's-
Well, no, but
Yeah,
also
yeah.
the ship that's crashed. That's the thing. Did you guys see the pictures of the ship that crashed? They're all
That was before
401.
they
The
actually kept track
Titanic.
of that shit.
Well, the
Wait, do you guys see them?
the
Did
ship's,
you guys see
number-
people going down to uncover ship from the Titanic? It all's 401. Even the
saw
fucking
James
propeller
Cameron
thing
do
is
it.
401.
Well,
yeah,
on
but
the- on
that's
the-
just paint. That's a paint job.
But the ship's number, I guess.
No, they're carved into the ship. They're actually carved into the pieces.
That's easy.
If it wasn't a swap, there was a
I don't know, man. I was watching a
watching-
video from the fucking 80s. If they had video technology like that, then
Well-
you can really just argue with anything. It's like, nope, that's fake.
If you don't believe the conspiracy, do you believe the true story, or what
I'm
they call
not
the
saying
true
I
story.
I'm saying I don't believe in the not believe in the conspiracy. I'm just saying that
There's
some of
a
that
lot of
stuff just seems-
skepticism.
I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of skepticism with all of it, and it's like also you got to remember people
Yeah.
are fucking human. They're morons. Nobody's
Yeah, but
gonna.
people are
JP
also
Morgan,
fucking assholes. So
that guy's conniving.
Some
But
people
do you
are
think that
rich.
do you think that him back then hired people to go under there and carve everything, or it? Whereas like
I
people
doubt they had the
fucking hella
diving
years
team, but
later-
I could
Yeah,
see them
but these
carving it
people-
before it took
Unless
off.
they already used the same.
This
method.
very flamboyant fellow, like in this documentary, when he was talking about it, and then this guy refused to believe it. He's like, well, they could have easily switched the pieces and whatever at the last minute to make it whatever. And it's like, but you can't do that with propellers. They're not interchangeable or whatever. And then it's like, well, then they just carved it on their last second. And it's like, that doesn't make sense because they buy these from fucking different places. Like, it's not. And you got to understand, dude, nobody's perfect. Nothing in this world is perfect. No circle's fucking perfect. No arm is fucking. When somebody draws
Just opened
something,
it,
an
baby.
arm
Just never
isn't going
seen
to
my
be
dick measured
perfectly
yet.
in whatever. And the fact is, yeah, like you're going to slip up.
Do
with
they
shit.
do they serialize propellers?
Yes, they do.
Well,
They
I'm sure,
serialize all
serial-
of it.
every.
There's probably a
Yeah,
serial
that
number on
fucking-
every part.
Yeah.
There is,
Probably.
and it's the Olympics. All of it's serialized as 400, and Titanic is
How you gonna
401.
get text right off?
Here's the thing. You're like, oh, here's the thing where you're like, I could prove this wrong. Is well, I can't prove it, but it's like
None of it's
You're
proven
saying,
because
oh,
none of you motherfuckers.
well, here's the
can
thing
get
you're
the
saying.
pieces out from
You're
the
saying
ocean.
they
That's
change-
why it's such
they-
a big thing because they can only
Yeah.
recover small parts of the boat.
Yeah, but
and
you're
all the
saying
small
they-
parts are
Yeah.
pointing toward the fact that it's the Titanic.
You're saying they changed it on the ship when it'd be so easy to just
no,
change it on
but
the
they
paperwork.
didn't have enough. They
Just the
didn't have
paperwork.
enough-
Or it
No,
wasn't
because
changed
the
at all.
fact is,
Yeah, paperwork.
no, because
yeah,
the
it was
fact is
live.
the Olympic went out at 400. They didn't switch all the newspapers, and it's like, no, you guys are mistaken. It was actually 401 the whole time.
They
Because
changed
the
it
fact
before
is,
that.
That Olympic 400 fucking crashed into whatever the court, like whatever, when they ruled that the fucking they were at fault. Like they didn't switch the numbers, the court, like whatever, the insurance people didn't switch the numbers for them, because what are they gaining out of that? Because they're having
Money.
to pay them either way. Like that part is what doesn't make any sense. Everything else makes fucking sense to me except for the fucking that shit. Like the serial numbers on the boat. And the fact is that they didn't find it until what was that, the 90s or 80s, that fucking documentary, because they put it in the fucking Titanic
Well,
museum.
James Cameron went down in the 90s, I believe. So
Yeah, he went down on me.
Yeah, but come on, like
Explosions.
you ever watch
Cut it
it
out.
fucking
Cut
I don't
that
even
out.
watch fucking movies from the 90s half the time because
cut
it's
that out.
like half of their shit is corny as
hey,
hell.
no, bro, no. 90s
They
movies
are,
are
though.
decent.
Some
You got
90s
fucking,
movies are,
you got
but
fucking
majority of them-
Titanic, Episode 1, fucking Terminator, fucking tons of great shit. Fuck y'all.
Terminator
James
is good,
Cameron-
but not.
Yeah,
but you
Terminator
can
fucking
tell it-
2. James Cameron had
But you
two
can
fucking hits in
tell
the
it's
90s.
fake though. You can tell by camera angling, and you can tell by fucking little digital
Yeah.
shit.
But
Like, you
still,
can
you can
tell.
tell the
To
abyss
this
is fucking
day-
fake, but you still ought to go, God damn, look at what they did.
Yeah, that
Well, then it's like
beautiful.
You
if
can
you want to
tell
go
Ju-
it that way, if you want to go it
you
that
can
way,
tell
but the whole
Jurassic
Roswell
Park-
thing, that whole crash of Roswell was fake. It was digitally edited for all of us
Yeah.
to see. Like it's just everything. You can point. You can do that with any conspiracy. You can say
Yeah.
that it was all altered. You can flip it the opposite way and say that's
You can-
fake.
Yeah, that's so.
Yeah. Well, anyways, like, so I'm not arguing against. I am not completely arguing against the Titanic theory thing, the conspiracy. What I'm arguing against is not turning a blind eye to like the obvious stuff. Like, so obviously the title thing makes the most sense, but there are people that were arguing fucking about how, oh no, they switched the ships. And it's like, there's no fucking way they switched the ships. The title thing makes sense. And then the same fucking thing with
I think that's what they mean by it, Justin, when they're saying they switch the ships, when they're switching the titles, just technically.
no, because the thing that I was watching was talking about the amount of time it would take to move the literal ship. Like I was watching a whole grounds covered thing where it's like, if you believe they moved the whole fucking, maybe people didn't believe it. Maybe they're just covering every basis, but it was a YouTube video where they were literally YouTube? Yeah. Where they were talking about you can't move the whole fucking physical ship and then switch the other one without anybody noticing. So that was probably the point they were making, that the title
Well,
had to be whatever.
I think
So
you
maybe
could,
I'm just saying what they were trying to cover bases with. Maybe nobody actually believed that, but I'm saying, yeah, there's no way that they could have done that.
That's not the only conspiracy surrounding the the Titanic, though, you guys.
Well,
Oh, yeah, with that whole fucking thing, that's the whole conspiracy. Oh, what was I watching?
Well, that's just one of the conspiracies. That's just like,
Oh no, yeah, no, that's what I was saying. I was like, what was the other conspiracy stuff that they're saying?
well, there
surrounding
was
there's
it?
a conspiracy that they sank it on purpose for insurance money. There's a conspiracy that they sank it on purpose in order to influence politics with the Federal Reserve, with J.P. Morgan and killing the millionaires.
See, I don't believe that one. I believe the insurance one more than anything. I'm just
the
saying I
one-
don't.
The one that
I
it
don't-
goes against the Federal Reserve is like, that seems like it'd be too much work. It'd be easier just to poison them, right?
Yeah,
Like
Why
just
would you
to
send them on
fucking
a
sink an
fucking
entire
boat?
ship to kill 3 people that oppose the Federal Reserve. Why
Yeah,
not
how
just
much
poison
money
them?
did you waste
How
doing
many-
that? Makes no fucking
yeah, but
sense.
how much money does the government waste to shoot a rocket at somebody to kill one person, and they kill just to kill one target? They'll kill 40, 50 people, you know, just to get that one guy.
Yeah, but this is
How many loads
this
of,
is
like,
not
busted-
the,
thing. Who
this
gives
is
a
not the
fuck?
government.
Busted
This
your mom's
is
face for
Yeah,
no
but-
reason.
yeah,
Casey.
but J.P. Morgan, if he wanted to get rid of the Federal Reserve, he basically controls the fucking world. If he has control of the Federal Reserve,
I don't
that's
think he had that
everybody's
much
money.
power, really.
If he was that, you think they made a monopoly game about this motherfucker for no reason?
I think that he's more like a fucking Trump more than anything, in which that he'll do anything for money. It's not about complete like dominance over fucking things. It's just about making.
Yeah, but if
cash
they were opposing, if
and
they
not
were
losing
opposing,
it.
if his competitors wanted to keep the gold and silver standard for their
Yeah, they
currency
had-
instead of using the Federal Reserve, then that would have went against him, and then he would be less. He would have less money, less assets. You know.
red boy.
I believe more of the insurance thing, and even then, I guess because I was reading goddamn, the money didn't add up like with that. It made no sense because he'd been making less money doing it that way. But I don't know because
But
I
if you
believe
take
that
the
more than
competitor out,
anything.
then he becomes the monopoly of the market.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I believe the insurance thing. I don't believe the racing competition because why do you let Herschel Hershey go? Like, I don't
Maybe they
understand.
were in cahoots.
Maybe they were fucking. Maybe he was getting into that dark chocolate.
And maybe that was
he
the
was
mistress.
very. He was very.
That was the
light.
mistress. They're experimenting on some new milk chocolate.
Maybe he was getting some
Well-
of the milk duds. I don't think they own that.
With that, I think we should take a break.
I just want to give a shout out to the UK, Ireland, Netherlands, Costa Rica, and of course the United States. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys continue, just like and subscribe and give us a review. If we got any fans out there that want to do some artwork or something that we can throw on a shirt, if we like what you got, we'll send you a free shirt and we'll put it out there for you guys.
We're back from the break. We argued a lot. We said a lot of bullshit, but let's see if Joseph changed our fucking minds on this shit.
Who did
Any of you change your mind with Joseph's skepticism?
Fuck that guy.
Or did you guys believe the before and changed it after? Like, what do you guys believe now? Matt?
What I believe is the
Oh,
mummy
Casey?
did it.
Yeah.
The mummy's curse. Let me tell you. Listen here,
Yeah.
brothers.
Dude, your mommy's curse and my mommy's curse. Methamphetamines. You can go ahead and cut that up if you want. I don't care if you keep it. You can keep it if you want.
Yeah.
I have a meth mummy. I don't care.
Hey. Let's stop messing around. Let's get back to it.
Messing around, dude. We should
Yeah,
do some shit on
Casey.
methyl.
Do you disagree with Joseph? This little skeptic bitch.
Mesopotamians.
Well,
Sorry.
Joseph, you can't really trust him because he looks like one of them thumb people from the Spy Kid movies.
Fuck you, and you look
let's not
like
talk
you're a
about that.
fucking elf. You weirdly eared shaped, creepy motherfucker.
I've been told I look like Elijah Wood. Take that at face value if you like.
Elijah Wood looks like one.
Bearded
Okay,
Elijah Wood, yeah.
okay, let's not take that as a compliment because Elijah Wood looks like a hybrid of somebody who was molested and somebody who did molest somebody. So you can't take that as a fucking compliment.
It's like that American Dad episode. It's like, yeah, he's like, I think the story's a little different. He's like, I think I was kind of asking for it. He's like, actually, I'm the one who tried to rape the priest. And he was in the water. He was like this, and the priest was like all scared.
I forgot about that episode. You know what the other funny one is when fucking Roger is like What did he say? He was like talking about I have a when he's the fucking therapist, he's like, I have a patient who's like dealing with whatever, he was molested by me. No, it's stupid.
Okay, but back to like,
Non-molestation.
do you still
joke.
believe? Did Joseph change your mind? Did you believe to begin with?
Dude, I 100% believe that the Titanic was sunk either for insurance fraud or they did it for I don't know. No, it's probably just honestly for the insurance fraud.
Yeah,
Fucking
that's the only one that's
greed,
realistic to me.
greed is a fucking it's a fucking fickle thing, you know. And when people get their claws into that money, they just want to sink them in deeper and want to get more and more, and nothing's ever enough, you know.
Like
So they
Elon
just
Musk.
that's what they do, and so they sunk this ship. Who the fuck cares if they killed 1,500 people? Who the fuck are they to them? You know,
Well, see,
like they're
Casey,
gonna get
that-
their money no matter what. It doesn't matter if
That's
it's
a-
one life or 1,500 lives. They don't give a shit.
Casey, that's it. Like, and like, I agree with that because rich people don't give a fuck about the masses.
Yeah.
Government doesn't. None of them. I'm just saying because I'm just being skeptical. But it's like, I believe if anything, it was for insurance purposes, and like, it sounds realistic as fuck. It really
So-
does. It's just
so
I'm
you don't
skeptical
believe-
about certain
neither-
things
Yeah.
that there's no actual like hard proof to. That all they have is like ideas and things that people say because all people can say about it is yeah they switched the numbers.
So you
yeah,
don't
this
believe the
thing-
whole. Neither of you believe that J.P. Morgan just did it to get rid of political rivalry.
Well, see, no,
I don't believe that
could coincide
because he's
with it, too.
greedy
It's
and he
like-
wants-
It's like an insurance fraud mixed in with like, you know, an assassination attempt. So it's like killing two birds with one stone, basically.
But why
Yeah.
would he let Hershey off of there unless he's just like fuck dude I really like
Maybe-
the way he makes Hershey bars.
Why did-
None of his predecessors can
Why
do
didn't
it
Hershey
right.
get on the boat? Did it ever say?
I'm not sure why he
didn't.
didn't get on the boat. I would have to
Well,
look it
maybe
up.
he just did it.
Oh, he was fucking his mistress.
Well, and the
Is that
JP
it?
Morgan
Yeah.
fucked his mistress is why he wasn't on the boat, but they don't say why Hershey fucking whatever wasn't on Titanic.
Oh, he was eating chocolate.
He was
He was
inventing the
packing
reason.
bugs.
His mistress.
One of the most intriguing moments in Milton Hershey's Milton, dude, Herschel would have been a better name. Life was his narrow escape from the sinking of the RMS Titan. Originally booked passage on the ill-fated passenger liner, but at last minute change in plans was most likely a decision that saved his life. It like I can't find
What was the last?
why
one?
he didn't want to be on the fucking boat.
It's like, hey, let's go to third world countries and fucking
I didn't
enslave a
look that
bunch
hard,
of people.
Yeah.
Let's take their waterway and throw
it
it
does-
towards our chocolate Willy Wonka bars.
He canceled a check for $300 written to the White Star Line on December 18, 1911. The cost of a first-class stateroom on Titanic ranged between $3,000 and $4,000, which suggested that Mr. Hershey made a 10% deposit to reserve such a room. Him and his wife, Catherine, Kitty, spent a significant amount of time in Europe. Much of that time was spent seeking relief from Kitty's health problems. Maybe it had something to do with his wife. So maybe it's not as fucking whatever.
You guys want to hear
As it
something
seems.
crazy about the Titanic?
But I mean, too many rich people, they're the 1%, and that 1% is going to be the 1% of people who leave for fucking whatever problems. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
most of the casualties were all third class fucking passengers because they were all on the lower side of the ship. All the first class, second class passengers, most of them got, you know, a good majority of them got off. Most of the casualties were crew and
Dude, some of us didn't get off at all.
Yeah, well, this is how you take how that's however you see the movie. It's either a tragedy or it's a climactic scene.
Dude, the only thing I got off on was when dude was trying to get on the boat. That got me off. He was trying to get off the lifeboat.
You guys, it cost $1.5 million back in 1908 to build that boat. So in today's money, that's $46,258,043.48.
And that's with inflation, or
That's that's what's the price of like our dollar today. Like that's how much it would cost for us to build
inflation's
Well-
not real, anyways.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But yeah, with that, I don't know where to stand on the Titanic thing. Like, I do believe the official story, but it's like, bro, insurance money is a fickle fucking thing. I can see people doing a lot for that shit. I can see a lot of fucking
Okay.
sketchy shit happening.
Hershey, sorry to go back to it.
Go ahead.
His
yeah.
intentions was to sell on the Great Liner originally, but finding that it would reach New York later than he desired to land, he booked on the German liner America, which arrived several days ago. I don't know what that
Days
means.
before.
Probably days prior.
That didn't sink.
Yeah, I think he
What about-
he
I took
took
a
a liner
safe
that arrived
Yeah.
quicker than the Titanic, so maybe that's why he did it.
Yeah. What about you, Matt? What do you think of this whole thing? Do you believe what do you believe?
I think it's a possibility that they probably swapped titles just to collect like insurance money, because
That
if
makes
it did
more
have
sense.
an Olympic ship, it was probably worthless. It's nothing. And
Yeah,
no one has that kind of
definitely, yeah.
money. When it comes to a large sum of money, everything's kind of based off of a credit system, and everything's based off of how much will this generate us in the future. So like all these shareholders and everything else like that. And it's a great idea, but a great idea just it like crapped out of nowhere for wasn't a good reason. It's super sad, it's like building a rocket and then someone just came and vandalized it. It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not a fair,
If they
right?
did it on purpose, it's definitely a sketchy thing.
Yeah,
wanna
so
know
I
what
understand.
It's
Well,
terrible.
with the Olympic, it's unfair that happened to it because it was such a grand and great idea that it was fair to invest money in
Matthew.
it. It was a great
Matthew.
idea. Yeah, but shit happens. It wasn't seaworthy, and then it crashed so early, or like accidents happen so early that if I put money into that ship, I'd be extremely pissed. The company would be bankrupt. Its sister ship would also be bankrupt. The whole company would crumble. It'd be
The
rubbish.
thing
It
is,
would
the
be nothing
insurance of
because
that wouldn't have been enough to cover the cost of like rebuilding, like
Well,
the
it
other
wouldn't.
ship and paying
Well,
off the other shareholders of the
the
fucking
thing
ship.
is, and also you don't want accidents when you have a company. You don't want shareholders to fear anything. One slip, one accident will happen, and everyone is afraid, and they pull all their money out. Like people are afraid, kind of thing. And so
Matthew-
you want to make sure that everything's literally smooth sailing. Literally,
Literally.
you want to make sure that everything's good. And so that accident happened. It's like, hey, it was a great idea. It's a grand idea. That's what people do. Cruise ships, great idea. You put your money in a cruise ship, you get a lot of money. It's a good idea. People love it. People love doing that thing as a vacation, as a holiday. People do that. But, biggest ship in the world, and this shit happens. It's like, no, fuck no. Everyone wants to pull their money out. What are you left with? How can you build that? You can't build that dream. You can't build that ship without investors. If people are afraid and they're like, okay, every time you leave the port, you're going to get hit with a battering ram or an iceberg or anything crazy like that. No, I don't want to invest in that. Nobody has that kind of money, especially at the time, to even build that.
You guys-
Everything's built based off projection of earned income. And so without projection, it's nothing.
But
And
Matthew,
so it makes sense for them to swap titles. That, the Olympic
You guys-
is fine. Titanic, it's fine. You have two sister ships in perfect condition, so you sell out on the end quote Titanic. Shit happens.
Well, almost
'cause
perfect.
shit
They would have
happens.
to. They would have to
Almost
flip
perfect.
the names on some of the simple fucking the simple builds of the ship. Like there are certain
Okay, I'll
things
be right back.
that are slightly different. But also Matthew, you know what the main thing is? I just debunked all of this because it was okay. You guys, it wasn't. It's like the Olympic wasn't the one that fell because we didn't see Hercules or fucking Zeus
Shut
or
the
anybody
fuck
on
up.
that fucking thing that went down. But I'm pretty sure that nobody has seen the Titans in a long time. Kronos, all of them. Have you seen them? I mean, maybe because they're giants. Wait, are the Titans giant? Or am I just mixing Attack on
The
Titan?
Titans are-
Titans are giants. Yeah.
No, I'm mixing
giants
the
of Earth.
Hercules.
Giants are different
You're
than the
talking about
Titans,
Greeks.
but they are big. Yes.
Titans are fucking huge.
In
Titans
all
are big
seriousness,
news.
though, guys, I'm not completely against either idea. It's just it's hard to wrap any of this stuff. Any conspiracy shit, I'm not 100% against or for.
well, can I throw one more little
Yeah,
theory
yeah.
out there?
Yeah,
I
go
gotta
ahead.
go soon anyways. I gotta get
This
internet on.
one's just for the audience for the movie theory, and it goes like this: in an alternate.
Casey was or Casey, sorry, Wesley was actually waiting for us to talk about the conspiracy of fucking Leonardo DiCaprio not being able to fit on that fucking door.
No, I was
Or
gonna,
piece of
that
wood.
has nothing to do with that. But
Oh, I thought you were gonna bring that up. I was like,
no,
Wesley wanted us. He
well, I
thought we
mean,
were
I
gonna
guess,
talk
I guess, I guess, it's an alternate timeline where Jack survives the ship, and he goes on to build a life for himself with Rose, and
he gets fat like he
well,
did.
a life for him with Rose, and he survives, and he's building his life in America. You know, he's creating the persona of the party-going showman in the jazz age, and hoping that Rose will someday appear, but she never does. And he ends up falling in love with a woman named Daisy. And do you know who that? Do you know who Daisy was with?
Oh
The
yeah.
Great Gatsby, son.
I've never
So,
watched that, and I don't remember anything from Titanic.
something like that. But yeah, so it's supposed to be like Jack's supposed to be the Great Gatsby when he makes
Yeah,
the
I've
movie
heard that
and
one.
stuff
Yeah.
in America. So I
and-
just want to throw that out there. That'd be a little fun tidbit. I don't know.
Casey, you're the
So-
great Dadsby because you be having hella kids.
Again, does anybody have any final thoughts on the Titanic?
It's pretty wild, man. The fucking there's only like one ship that can really get out there to go. That's technologically advanced to get out there. To even
Yeah, that's my dick in your mom's harbor.
What do
And
you guys think of?
that ship's going out there anytime soon.
Yeah, what do you guys think of when James Cameron and multiple other ships went down and checked out the wreckage?
I think I don't know about that, but I think like the what the fuck was it? Was it okay? Just come back to me.
Well, the History Channel they did a couple expeditions down to the Titanic and to the sister ship Britannic to find out, you know.
The Britannic sank too. I didn't look up that, but it sank too.
Yeah, the Britannic sank because
Where the fuck did that thing sink?
So dude, I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head, but I know. So Britannic sank because it was after the Titanic sank. It was during like World War. I want to say like one or two. I couldn't tell you which one exactly.
Probably
Whatever.
two, since the first one sailed in 1912.
Okay, so World War II. So, the Britannic there wasn't a need for liner ships because nobody was traveling because everybody was at war, you know. So Britannic was being used as a Red Cross ship for wounded soldiers, and the Germans shot that motherfucker down.
Oh yeah, there's theories of the U-boat.
Well, no, this actually happened. The Germans did shoot the boat down, like
It all actually happened,
it's fact.
This is good.
So that actually happened.
Mm.
They shot it down because they were carrying a bunch of fucking people or something.
I mean,
but I guess
I
it
think
sunk in like I think it sunk in like 90 minutes, maybe like 30 to 90 minutes, something like that.
there's like the Mile High Club, and then James Cameron went down there to do the Miles Low Club.
No, he
And
did.
then
the
he
mile
fucked around,
Fathoms down.
and then he fucked around and he figured out, oh shit, dude, I can make a movie off of their Avatar. This shit gets
Oh
deep.
my god. It's like
Yeah, he
everybody
did
looks
get
blue down here.
epiphany.
Let's get some fucking blue people up in this shit.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah, the
trees with
epiphany.
their hair.
Now he did the
rumors-
disease under
rumors has
1,000
it.
leagues under the sea.
Yeah,
Like, that's
rumors
what-
has it. Rumor has it he was banging in a submarine and he was just watching a whole lot of like SpongeBob and Pocahontas, and then he was like, "Oh, dude, Avatar would be a sick ass movie," and he made it. It was like, you know, the Mile High Club, and people are just like smoking in there, and there's like, "Yeah, Bog." He's like, "Yeah, dude, the Mile Low Club, we're a part of it."
No,
Okay,
he's
let's
like
just-
the miles
let-
deep under the leagues.
And this continued to happen for 6 more years until they made the movie Avatar.
No, but seriously, Matt.
The last
Do you have
Bluebender.
anything to add to this Titanic story, other than your amazing jokes?
Oh, thanks. I don't think there's really much to
Matthew
it.
has a
honestly.
writer.
There's
Yeah.
an isn't. There's an isn't. I don't know. Honestly,
Ironically,
I mean,
it's James Cameron.
Possibly the biggest insurance fraud in history. Possibly. There's that, but behind it, there's not much there. I mean,
There's not enough evidence. And most of the people that came up with the shit are like people who are claiming that they were a part of shit, and there's no proof that they were.
Yeah,
Whereas
I mean,
people that there
what
is
we-
proof they
I
are.
feel like the
Well, we
confidence
do
of
know-
the captain also played a role
I mean,
in
you
it
can't,
because
yeah,
what
but I mean, you
his-
can't believe
his
every
decision-
drunk dude in an Irish bar telling you, "But I was a part
Oh,
of the
sure you
shit,
can.
and I seen the fucking whatever."
I
Like,
just
dude,
might. He has an accent. He's persuaded me.
But like the captain's confidence played a major role in this too. He didn't slow
incompetence?
down with ice warning. He didn't
What
do
we
the,
do
he didn't do
know
the
is
lifeboat-
like tons
he didn't do
of
the lifeboat
lives were
test,
lost, kind of shit.
and due to his
Well,
negligence,
it's the only 100% thing that we knew.
a higher amount of life was lost. So there was unnecessary life loss due to his
Regardless,
decision that he made.
That's with
It is
any
voyage.
government cover up. There's a
Regardless of
unnecessary
what-
amount of life lost.
I just want to
Oh,
say,
yeah,
regardless of
definitely.
if you believe in a conspiracy or not, I don't believe they intended to lose all those lives. I think that the iceberg thing was
Why
like
the
a
fuck
fucking
not?
freak
It's
accident.
happened before.
No, but
It's
I'm saying
happened
I think
before.
they thought because with the whole Californian thing and all that, like I believe that I think they didn't care if they did, but I believe they actually tried.
They
To
tried to
attempt
save
to
people,
save as
just
many
didn't
lives.
work.
I don't believe that though. I don't believe they tried to save anyone because if they did, why would the captain call off his mandatory boat fucking safety thing, like his safety test?
Because they
out of
didn't even
26
have enough.
Because he's a cunt.
They didn't even
captain,
Casey.
why
They
do
didn't have
that?
enough
Last
lifeboats
minute.
on the ship because they put all their eggs in one fucking basket.
Yeah, because they said it was the overconfidence
again-
of the captain because he was like, "Oh, this boat's unsinkable."
They
Let me
didn't plan
fucking-
it.
let me throw
This
my
is what
dick
they
on this
did.
fucking
Dude,
bow and see
Casey,
if it's slapped this
100%.
iceberg in half.
100%. If it went down like whatever, that this is how they did. They planned for them to sink that ship, but what they half-ass planned everything else. Like, yeah, no, man, we got this guy. He's got plenty of fucking coal. He's gonna whatever. The only thing he's gonna have on his boat is stuff to save people, and it's 100% gonna work. There's no way there's gonna be a freak accident. There's no nothing. It'll work. And if it doesn't, who gives a fuck? We
Regardless-
tried, right?
You know-
we tried.
You know they
Like,
said
that's how
Regardless-
they when it comes to human lives, people when it comes to human lives, I don't believe fucking rich people care that much.
Well, 'cause
They
humans
go
are
like, we're gonna
expendable.
save these lives too and do all this shit. But in the back of their head, they're like,
I think
if
it
doesn't
depends
work,
on the
eh.
person, but yeah.
I think that they intended on half-ass trying to save people. I don't think it was their main plan. If it was like the whole fucking whatever they're trying to commit tax for or fucking insurance fraud or whatever, it wasn't
Possibly.
it wasn't the main part of their plan. That was a secondary objective, and the secondary objective failed. So it's like it doesn't matter. Just like a game, you're only there for the main objective.
Exactly.
If the
If
secondary
anything-
objective told you had to save 6 people, and you're like, well, fuck. It's like I'll try to
I-
save those 6 people, but
I-
I'm
I
trying
don't
to get
think-
to
yeah.
point B.
It
From
was
point
definitely
A.
a
Like
tragedy.
that's how it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
regardless,
a tragedy, 100%. but
regardless
I-
of conspiracies, it was probably one of the biggest tragedies of anything.
Biggest maritime tragedy, period.
Maritime-
and
Like,
probably
no,
between
I-
that and the
I mean-
between that
I
and
mean,
the
I wouldn't-
COVID trend.
I wouldn't roll that out.
1,500
'cause-
people.
Yeah,
Between
but
that and the
you're-
COVID transition
when you
on
say something like that, it's
cruises
pretty
will
bold
never
because
go on one.
you're rolling out. No, you're rolling out maritime and the albatross. You're acting like that guy didn't hunt that albatross and had bad luck for no reason. So second, yes.
Dude.
The
I
mariner
was
and the
making a joke
albatross. No,
because of fucking
Nobody?
what albatross.
nothing.
Anyways, no, I don't trust deep waters. I don't trust fucking boats. I don't trust any of that shit. You'll never see me on a cruise line ever.
We've
I would
explored
rather go.
multiple
And I'm
bases
afraid of
without
fucking
those.
heights. I'm afraid of heights, but I'd rather get on a plane than a fucking boat.
And with all that information, I think we're going to leave you guys. We're probably going to put a poll up. What did you guys think happened to the Titanic? Thank you guys for listening. We're glad that you guys are here. We're trying our hardest to get you guys episodes as quick as we can. We hope to move to weekly, even though we're doing bi-weekly now. And you know what? Just keep on listening. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and rate. And we'll be back hopefully next week, but maybe in 2 weeks. We're going to try to go weekly. But we're going to be back with simulation theory. So you guys have a nice week or 2 weeks. You know, who cares? Bye.
We'll see you guys later.